What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a title called Ars Notoria. I think we covered this game years and years and years ago when it had like a limited demo, and this game seeks to combine something like a survival sandbox, you know, something like Stranded Deep, or something like Life is Feudal, with the idea that you live inside of a living RPG world where there's quests to go do and stuff like that, so that all of your crafting is supplementing this Skyrim-like story that's happening in a greater overworld. It seems like the kind of game that I would play. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't played it since we checked out that initial demo, but today we are going to rectify that problem. We're gonna play the game for about 30 minutes edited down. I don't know how long the actual raw video is gonna look, and along the way I'm gonna be giving you my first impressions about the things that I like, the things that I don't like, the things that I think need to be changed as we play on through. You can find a link to the game down below in the description. It is an early access, just like all the other survival sandboxes. These tend to be things that grow over time. Sometimes longer times, sometimes shorter times. You can also find a bunch of other Nerdcastle links down there, just in case you wanted to give them the old saucy click. But let's go ahead and dive on in, and let's not waste any more time with the babble. We've got the clock running, and it's time for us to do some work. So the first thing I gotta do is I gotta create my character. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm probably not gonna get too crazy with it, because I usually just want to get straight on into the gameplay. But let me check what options are available here. I mean, like, honestly, there's a lot of options and a lot of sliders here that you can play around with. I don't want to end up with a character that looks dented, so I just gave him, like, a quick hairstyle and a quick beard and mustache, and I figure we just dive in with that and see how it goes. Having now created my character and the game world that we're going to be living inside of, I think it's time for us to commence the gameplay. Let's have a look and see where we land in the overall arrangement of things. So we've been given some new tutorials. We've got a guy here. We can run around. We can look at stuff. Can I interact with that rock right there? Like, what am I going to do? Like, pet it? Oh, we got sandstone, the most inferior type of stone. Sedimentology, man. It's basically the Mordor of geology. Everybody knows the cool cats get involved with igneous and metamorphic petrology, but apparently I'm being forced to handle sedimentary rock, which honestly has set my entire life a kilter. As far as resources go, it actually looks like they don't go inside of our backpack, so the game has given us an inventory over here where we can sort out our rings and our shields and our armor and stuff like that, but we're actually given a sort of universal storage over here that just holds on to all the materials of basic tiers, and so I actually kind of like that a lot, dude. It keeps the clutter down when it comes to organizing your inventory. I'm one of those people that, like, I cannot stand having a filthy inventory. I will sit there for an hour every single night and Escape from Tarkov, just completely and totally organizing my entire stash before I log off, because there's nothing worse than getting back up the next day and booting up for a couple of rounds, and you just have things all over the place. We are able to enter like a combat mode and throw hands a little bit if we want to, and it looks like we've also got a block that we can throw up, but for the moment, I'm probably just gonna check my journal and figure out what my beginning goals should be. I figure we'll probably be doing lots of things like gathering twigs and sticks and stuff like that along the way, but hey, let's get it moving. So as far as crafting goes, from just taking a look around the interface, it looks like right here at the beginning of the game, I'm gonna have to get myself a whole batch of resources just to get things going. So you know how this works. I'm actually gonna plop down and farm all that stuff out, and then I'll give you like a saucy sha-na-na-na-na-na around the time that I come back. Huh, I found a hole in the ground over here while I was picking up rocks, like I'm trying to do my Unga Bunga caveman thing, but it looks like there's a spooky cave over here maybe. Can I pick up that scroll that's on the ground? What's that scroll right there? What does that do? A treasure map for Old Oak. Interesting. Hidden treasures require a shovel to dig up. I guess I'll open it. So, like, there's a cave over there. There's, like, a big-ass oak tree or, like, maple tree or something over on that side. And it's buried just at the foot. I have to confess something to you at this moment here. I am terrible at treasure-finding minigames inside of video games. Like, anytime you give me a picture and you're just like, have at it, dude, figure out where it's at on the map, I do a terrible job with that, which is especially embarrassing because I went to school, like, I have a hard science degree in making maps, in like cartography basically, for geological survey maps, and so like, you'd think I'd be able to read maps a little bit better, all those things given, but I find that video game maps, they always throw me for a loop. There's a horse over there. It said I can tame a horse if I have a food for him. What do horses eat, like carrots or something? Hay? I mean, he's surrounded by grass. He's living inside the natural buffet of nature. I don't know what I have that might entice him over to my side and be like, hey, would you enjoy a life of bondage where I ride on your back and you're constantly over encumbered? But maybe, dude. Maybe if I apply myself really, really hard. For now, I think that I've got myself, oh, there's Pete over here too. I had a geology professor when I was going to college. He did his entire dissertation in Scotland in the peat bogs, and he was like, there's a smell when you're in the peat bogs of Scotland because everybody burns it like fuel out there in order to keep their homes warm and whatnot. And he goes, it's not a bad smell, but he said once you actually smell what an entire village smells like when everybody's burning peat, he said it's a smell that you'll never forget about, that's for sure. Let's see what we can craft here. So in our crafting menu, we do have the stuff on hand to make an axe. That'll be good. We'll get all the bog standard Minecraft stuff done. And so we can also get a hammer, which I would guess is probably going to be utilized for building stuff, but who knows. We can also get a shovel rocked out. And we can also get some hose up inside of here, just in case that was something that looked appealing to us. I think that a spear would be a really good idea, just in case I get attacked by something. We've only got a little bit of resources left in order to finish off this initial batch of things that are going to supplement our survival. Do these go? So these just go in hot slots. Cool, man. I think I've got everything the way that I would like to have it arranged. I always put my weapon on my 4 key. It's an impulse that I can never truly rid myself of. They also automatically equip when you approach a deposit or anything that can interact with them, so I find that to be good. Stabbing animation with the spear is a little bit rough with the backhand actually disconnecting from the weapon entirely. Probably some room for that to be cleared up a little bit and made to be look a little bit... Oh, you actually use the hammer for quarrying. All right, well, I'm glad that I built it then. That was probably like a really good plan. Let's check out these tree chopping animations over here. Tree chopping seems to be going okay. It's a little asset-y, but frankly, having covered indie games for this big of a chunk of my life, my career now expands almost 15 years. I've sort of gotten used to wonky animations. They don't really bother me like they used to. Our woodcutting levels up as well. Where are those skills listed at out here? Oh, wow, we've got skills for everything inside the confines of this game, and it looks like they all level up through utilization just like they would if you were playing something like Skyrim. So I think that'll be good. Oh, they included science. Well, that's nice, dude. That'll be fun to play around with. Oh, dude, every single one of these right here, like all of these various tabs that you have on the left-hand side, they expand out into a talent tree that specialize you inside that actual doctrine, so that's pretty cool. So felling a tree gives 8 stamina and you get extra XP. That might be good at the beginning of the game. We can chop down trees in fewer hits, which in a way generates more XP. We can get more wood when we destroy objects with an axe, or it looks like we can get seeds out of the tree. I'll just go with... Oh, you only put things into those once? Okay, well, let's get replenishment then. We'll grab both of those for the moment, and it looks like these are divided out into different tiers as well. You can see a little tab in the top left-hand corner of the tooltip right there. You see how there's a little implement of brass right next to my cursor. It looks like each of these costs a different amount based on what color that little embossment, that embellishment, I guess, whatever that little embellishment is, it looks like it sets the cost of the skill as well. So I'm assuming that these are going to become advanced woodcutting, master woodcutting, and they'll give you even more specialization inside of there. I like that level of detail, though. That's something that makes my ears perk up. It makes me want to play the game more. It does look like they have weather systems implemented as well, because it magically started pissing down rain. What are you going to do about it, man? If it's not one thing, it's another. Not only is my lot in life limited entirely to busting rocks with a rock that I attach to a stick, now we gotta do it in the rain. The plus side is that at least I'm not having to pull a Johnny Bravo and bust up the rocks with my forehead, so that's good. And it actually looks like, now that I'm looking, I figured we would just pass this next tutorial because we already had a spear, but it actually looks like the spear is a tool. Maybe for fishing, possibly? If we wanted to make a weapon, we've actually got to come down here and do it this way. And yeah, these do look like they're hitting with a little bit more damage than the other stuff we've got. I'll go ahead and I will actually make a training sword real quick. That way we've got that available. And instead, there we go. Let me put that on my hotbar real fast. That way we can defend ourselves. Although a wooden sword and a club are not really two distinct different items. I don't know why you would ever make a wooden sword, to be fair. Just get yourself a big old unga bunga club and flintstones it up. They want me to defeat an enemy now, but I don't think of sheep as ever being really a nemesis in my life. But maybe it'll count as an enemy if I just really whoop it up. The sheep are a little slidey. It looks like they have actually had their graphics omitted for the... Oh my god, there's a fox. Okay. He hit me super hard, like unpleasantly hard. Let's see if we can like lay a little bit more damage on him. Maybe I can just spam attack until he dies. There we go. Looks like we get attribute points and stuff for doing it. And we can loot this little guy for dinner. I doubt that a fox is going to taste very good. One of the controlling precepts of hunting is that anything that feeds on anything carnivorous typically doesn't taste that good. It's also like junk animals. I've had everything from possum to raccoon to snake to bear to you name it over the course of my life. And there's definitely a certain level of gaminess that goes into eating any type of carnivore. Looks like we've got a level up button that's also lit up for us, so let's go ahead and have a look at that. So strength, that's going to do all the obvious stuff that you think it's going to do. It looks like this agility is going to be for range damage the exact same way. Intelligence is going to make us, oh, we can get magic, very nice. Constitution's going to give us some more HP. Endurance is more stamina, and finesse looks like it's going to give us focus, I suppose. Possibly a mana battery, basically, so the game might call it focus, but it might be mana or something else like that. For the moment, I'm going to put points into anything that makes me soak a hit a little bit better. Mostly because that little fox guy went through me like paper. I don't know if you noticed, but he hit us twice and our HP was already at half. If I wasn't able to stun lock him by just spamming attacks in his face, I think that might have actually gone kind of poorly for us. We also have a class that's been assigned over here. Interesting. There's lots of these little like breadcrumbs inside the UI that are making me think about the way the game might possibly unfold. So we've got some experience with sword. It's kind of stereotypical, but I do think we should probably get some better abilities. We've got lash. Okay, I'll take lash. Oh, it goes on the hotkeys down here, huh? All right. Well, since I can take all this stuff out automatically just when we're in front of the node, I suppose I was beginning to have reservations about it, largely because I didn't want to swap around all my keybinds MMO style, but I figured that'll be okay. Swiftly sidestep in the direction to avoid enemy attacks. You get invulnerability when you do it. Might be helpful, so I'll take it. I was trying to figure out what mouse button it was on. All right, there's our little dash right there. So if I can lock onto enemies, it looks like we can actually close and open up a gap should we require it. That's good. I like that. Oh, we got another fox rocking up on us right now. Ow, dude. Yeah, don't do that. All right, I'm going to dash away from you. And then we'll dash to the side. Okay, so like the inputs take a second to get used to, but we are going to have to level up our combat skills at some point. Fox belt, we'll turn that into leather. Armor would be nice. I'm guessing that's why we're getting chunked so hard, is because we're basically rocking out inside of a peasant t-shirt right now. Setting up a basic place where we can R&R and keep ourselves just covered from enemies feels like a good plan to me as well. So now I've got to go through the fastidious progress. So for right now, we need to start building up a camp, and it's going to be a process. I'm a little bit of a stickler for the place that I settle in games, but this looks reasonably flat, and assuming nothing's gonna come out of that dungeon, we should be okay. I don't know that to be true, but I'm gonna do my best. We can interact with the campfire. I'm guessing to cook off food or something else like that. I can plop meat up in there. Go ahead and cook her off. So we've got fried fox meat, and it's been added to our overall recipes. Okay, we're getting some stat boosts and stuff from it. I'll take that. Might as well cook off our mutton, too. That way we've just got things available to keep us alive. Is it possible to hotkey those so that I can eat them on the fly? Yeah, let's do that, because at some point I'm going to need HP in order to patch myself up. Do we have thirst or hunger or anything else that we need to play around with, or do these purely give us bonuses? They last for 20 minutes and they give us bonuses. Okay. Well, I'll eat the food right now. No eating animation to be spoken of right this second. It's now prompting me to go find fibers and things too. A million little fibers. So just a quick curious question while I'm running around looking for my cotton fibers. I noticed that there are rather large gaping holes in my ass cheek right now. Do you think that that will buff out? Can we rub some ointment on it? Is that going to be an easy fix? Because it's getting real uncomfortable. I can't stop itching and scratching at it. I can't stop giving it my attention. I can't focus on the fiber-related lifestyle that I'm trying to live right now. There's something sleeping over here. I think it's a big rat. Yeah, dude. Let me see if I can just hack him up. Oh, with the big anime attack right there. Let him have it. Put him to sleep. We got a rat pelt, and it looks like we've got rat meat. I don't feel crazy enthused about eating a rat, but I suppose you gotta do what you gotta do when things get a little bit wild. There was a little bit of grain on the cart right there, which is probably good for us. And it looks like there's another cotton fiber over here, maybe? That's why I came over this direction, is because I saw it denoted on the map. The game does have a solid map that tells you the location of just about everything you've ever discovered, and you can actually activate and set up filters if you want for the things that you're looking for. I like that very, very much. The more information I can control inside of a game and the more I can customize just the overall navigation and moving throughout the world, I'm pretty stoked about that. I like that a lot. And we do have a wolf over here. Let me see if I can light him up real quick. Yeah, just get him with that big cleave. The more of these hides that we can stock up, since I'm not limited by weight or anything else on the loot in my bags, I can kind of just kill things and graze freely as we move throughout the game world, which is also a nice thing. I hate dealing with inventory concerns. Inventories, like, it's very, very rare to me that an encumbrance-bearing, limited space inventory is done well. It's got to add something to the gameplay. If it's just there to annoy me and to force me to go back to town, I'm not down with that at all. But in this game, I can carry as much stuff as I want. This is great. So for our encampment, I think a good way that we should get set up is we can do a primitive shed, we can do a basic tent, or we can do a rectangular shed for storing equipment. I'd rather sleep in it, though. So if I can just have something that gets the weather and the elements up off of my booty cheeks, that sounds phenomenal. So there it is. We've got ourselves a tent. I can take one of the pelts that I got off of one of my hunts and I can place that down here as just something to keep me up off the ground. Although realistically, we'll want to start putting together a primitive cot that keeps us up off the ground and away from bugs. And then from there, we'll want to get some kind of wadding or something else we can put underneath of it to help us preserve our heat as we stay up in the air. But it'll be fine for now. I suppose I'll set my respawn and then I'll rest for a little bit. Well, well, what do we have here? A stranger sitting pretty in the middle of nowhere, smelling like smoke and blood. You want to explain yourself? I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just trying to survive. The bandits, they hit Lindale. I was there when it happened. Lindale, huh? We saw what was left of it, a pile of ash and bones, and yet, here you are, alive without a scratch. It's kind of funny how that worked. Does that guy have a gat? What's he pointing at me, right? Can I have guns in this game? I love flintlock muskets and things of that. If I can have a flintlock in this game, I'm about to be so happy. I wish I could tell you how I got out. One moment I was in the village and the next I woke up in the woods. Somebody must have dragged me out, but I don't remember who or why. Convenient. You expect us to just believe you blacked out and woke up in the middle of nowhere? Sounds like a bandit's tale to me. Believe what you want. I've got no reason to lie. If I were one of them, do you think I'd be sitting here waiting for you to find me? I'd be long gone or stabbing you in the back. Skinny as a stray dog and half as threatening. You're too weak to be one of the bandits. That much is clear. If you're innocent, you won't mind coming with us. The commander will sort this out. Aw, dude, you're gonna make me hoof it all the way back to my camp? How far away is this? So you're the one they dragged out of the woods. You say you're from Lindale, huh? What happened there? Bandits attacked at dawn. They slaughtered everybody who fought back and burned what they couldn't steal. Some villagers were dragged off. Prisoners, maybe. Took prisoners. Unusual. Bandits don't normally bother unless there's something valuable, but Lindale's gone now, which means you're here and that makes you my problem. If there's any survivors, shouldn't you send guards to look for them? They could be out there alive. We've got no men to spare chasing shadows. The enthralled are at our gates. Every blade counts. The twisted creatures glowing like cursed lanterns, skin etched with burning marks, are spreading faster than we can cut them down. The sovereign's decree is clear. Every able-bodied soul from the surrounding villages is to be recruited. Lindale was on that list, and now so are you. What if I refuse? What if I had enough of blood and fire? Refuse? Deserters don't make it long around here. You join, you fight, or you disappear. About as simple as that. Oh, they're going to give us the option to maybe join the bad guys later on down the line or something like that? They've got the actual update where that's going to be implemented, added on out, which speaks volumes about how well developed out maybe the roadmap is for this game. So that's good. Good choice. Report to the battle master near the obstacle course, just beyond the training camp. That long-walled structure that you can't miss. He's been gathering our recruits. Tell him I sent you and don't make me regret wasting my breath on you. Might want to check in with the quartermaster, too. I hear you've got a knack for putting things together. Could come in handy around here. Alright, well, we've got a quest, so I suppose that's good. We've also got a little bit of reputation with the Holy Guard, which I'll assume is good as well. What's this, just missions and things that we can play around with? The camp healer needs specific herbs and mushrooms for remedies. Okay. A dish that's worth the chase. We're running low on fresh ingredients and asking recruits to hunt boar and deer for him. In exchange, he will share his cooking recipes with you. Fair enough. We do have all of our quests clearly denoted here, so this is not going to be an Ash and Steel type experience where we've got to spend the next hour and 45 minutes figuring out where the thing is. So that's a little bit of a nice break. Spoiler alert though, dude. I've put like 50 hours into that game since I cut a video on it. I'm level 13. I'm just now starting to hack people up real bad. And so it's a slow burner, but it does get there. Alright, so after a whole bunch of tutorializing and just running obstacle courses and things like that that were super wonky and janky and kind of buggy, now I can go back and talk to the commander. The upshot of all this is that I got a sweet set of armor out of the deal, so I've actually got myself a cuirass right now, and I got to pick a class, so I guess there's a bunch of different classes in this game that you pick. I don't know if you can go back after you select a class. It looks like you can if you actually level up the skills that are inside that tree maybe, but we'll have to remain to be seen from here on out. I took marksman because, as I had hoped, they gave me the ability to have a flintlock, and so I'm just going to shoot stuff in the face from 10 miles away, but we got to talk to the commander. Survivor from Lindale. Sergeant says you didn't embarrass yourself in training, which is more than I expected. Revenge, huh? Hope doesn't matter. What does is my scouts report movement in the ruins of Lindale. Bandits, most likely the same rats that burned it, and they didn't leave it empty-handed. Prisoners, your people, maybe. You're sending men to investigate? I've got thrice cursed and thrall clawing at our borders, and half my forces are spread thinner than butter on a beggar's bread. But I'll not stop you from going. Take any recruits foolhardy enough to join you. Just know this, if you get caught, there's no rescue. Holy Guard can't spare the bodies. All right, let's go ahead and do it then. You've got the right instinct. Just don't let it turn into recklessness. Dismissed. I would like to go back to survivaling and, like, crafting. You know, I'm going to have just one character right here, and it looks like we get bonuses for playing a singular character. The bad news is we're really far from where we got picked up. Out in the middle of nowhere. The good news is if we head south, we're going to run into the Lindale objective and maybe get to bust some gats on some guys, so I don't know, let's go bring it to them, man. They can't handle the buck. They don't want that smoke. They don't want to get hit with the heater, break out the stone and let it talk. Uh-oh, we're being attacked by something on the road. It's time to let this thing spit, man. Oof, all right, he bit me. All right, let's fall back. Oh, the horse wants the smoke too? Oh, that's super bad. Okay, yep, I don't know why that guy just exploded with magic dust. I don't even think I hit the horse, man. Why is the horse so upset with me right now? I don't want the horse to be upset with me. I want to be friend. I was trying to feed the horse a tomato. I put it on my hotbar and everything, dude. Just stay on. Oh my god, dude, this game's wonky as hell. All right, my gun's firing in every direction. I'm being kicked to death by a horse. Frankly, this adventure is not going exactly the way that I envisioned it inside of my headspace. I just wanted to feed him a tomato, and I think he went, his eyes are glowing right now, so I think he went all devil horse mode on me. This backs up my long-held theory that horses are the devil and not to be trusted, and of course we're in Lindale right now, so we're going to have other problems to deal with too. Let's fall. Is he going to de-aggro? Is he like leashed? Okay, good. You go back where it is that you need to go, and I'm going to deal with the problem at hand, which is checking the village where I used to live. Dead guy, he's not lootable. One thing I notice here is that I don't even need to walk that far. I can fast travel back to the place where I bound my soul. So we are right back to where we started, which I think is advantageous. It's going to say, I mean, look at my face right now, dude. It's coated in my own eyebrow blood because that horse absolutely kicked the pink off of me. This is the worst day ever for somebody like me. So what can I do for production out here? We've got carpentry, but nothing unlocked inside of there. Masonry, but nothing inside of there. What can where are my basic workbenches at? So it looks like if we have the basic stuff, we can start actually putting together... How do I rotate this thing? There we go. We'll just put a log pile right there because that increases my universal log storage when I go out to harvest. What else do we have around here? It was in the harvesting menu over here. I think is all the basic stuff that I can do. We can also get a circular saw. I think that's a good idea. It may disrupt the overall peace of nature that surrounds us right now, but it will allow me to convert my softwoods into actual lumber, and we're gonna need that because the guard, they gave me a quest to fix one of their watch camps. They have like a watchtower out there somewhere that's all beat to hell, and they want me to supply the lumber in order to fix it. There was a vendor over there inside their camp too that had like armor, weapons, all that kind of stuff, but alas, I am completely and totally broke at the moment, so I don't think I have a whole lot left to offer on that front. It looks like we can also process wood into tar. I suppose I'll just keep all of my random lumberjacking stuff sort of in this corner. I would like to... I wish there was a slow rotate so that I could get to face the way that I want, but I'll just put it right there for right now. And so now we have tar manufacturing. We can make pitch as well, which is going to be kind of important. I think I'm going to need more trees, though, before we go any further on into this crazy adventure. So let me just hack down trees. I need to clear out some ground space anyways if this is going to be my base. I would like to clear the cave out that's on our left. I feel like that's a smart play, too, just to make sure no creepy crawlies, baddies, ghoulies, or anything otherwise decides to creep on out in the middle of the night and lick my toes. And so you know how I get about that, man. Alright, there we go, building space. I cleared that out, but I don't actually have a good enough axe to chop down the bigger trees. How far does my gun blap? Oh, my gun blap's pretty far, dude. We get to open at a distance. We actually have an advantage here. We can break their poise before they even get here. The world's fastest arquebus. The fastest arquebus in the land. 'Tis a metal tube on a stick, and every single time I fire it, I fear for my life. But do not worry, it shall safeguard our coming. And what's that? A fox trophy. Interesting. It's unique, huh? 15% damage to foxes. You can attach it to your horse saddle, all of the Witcher. Man, I'm really on the fence about this right now as I play it because I've run into enough wonk, jank, and bugs just in my opening, 30 or 40 minutes of playing the game. Yeah, you get stunned right there and just stay where you're at. I'm going to keep you stunned, too. I've leveled up rifle to 4, which is nice. I will take, I think, all of this stuff. Take alls on E. All right, can I loot this right here? Or does this repopulate? Can I destroy it? I'd like the area to be safe of enemies that are rocking up on me. As I was saying, I've run into enough wonk and jank that's all happened off camera while harvesting or doing organized activities that I'm like, ooh, this is one of those titles, all right. This thing is held together with bubblegum and toothpicks, but at the same time, there's so much depth to all the character development and everything else that I'm also intrigued. I got 12 skill points available. All right, well, I'll tell you what we need first. I need more stamina, so I'm going to boost stamina up by 5. I'm going to take agility up by 5 more, and then from there, I'll more than likely just even those out so that we've got extra HP, we've got extra stamina. That gave us 45, so what are we getting roughly on the split right there? We're getting 3 per endurance. All right, I can do math inside of my head. I'm not completely stupid. Other available camp things that I can do, it looks like I can build myself a bloomery so that we can start processing off iron and trying to get ourselves into better equipment. But let me get the iron ore storage set up on this side. Basically, I'm just going to have districts inside of my base that handle the various gathering of different things. But we are going to have to bust up some stones and some other stuff to make this all work. So if I wanted to harvest peat, what's that going to take? Fuel deposits can only be harvested by putting a hauling machine nearby. Interesting. Do I have, so the pitsman over here. We've got fuel storage on that side. We can also get a hauling machine. I already have the stuff for it. Does it have to be on top of this, or can it be wherever? I guess I'll just put it right here. There we go. Dude, these bees are buzzing up a storm right now, and I don't know where they're at, but it's driving me crazy. Get blapped on, you menace! Oh, okay. My equipment's got to be better before that'll work. Well, rip to me. And it looks like this just produces peat on its own. I don't even need to do anything with it. There's no thrall system or anything else like there would be in Conan, so I suppose that works. Other stuff that I could potentially do... As a pitsman, I can get more stone storage. That feels like a smart thing to build. So let me increase my stone storage by a little bit. And sooner or later, I'm going to have to go out on a massive glut of gathering. That way we can keep moving on up the tech tree and getting things finished off. But I do have herb storage, which is nice. Maybe I'll put some herb storage over here. There we go. Now I got my Herby Boy basket on that side that increases my herb storage. We can also get resin out of trees if we have a large enough tree. Looks like this tree will work, so I guess we'll start gathering sap too. That way, at some point, I'm going to need all of this stuff, and getting it gathering early feels like a strong play to me. But the other thing that I need to do is I need to assign my skills. So I've got rifle skills right now that I can play around with. It looks like we can do blast. All right. It can pierce obstacles, and it's like a big gangster shot. We have suppressing fire. Okay. And it looks like it builds off of rupture, so we're going to kind of want that. So we'll take both of those right there because I think it'll help out. And then we'll get suppression fire. Suppression fire is already in there. So we need blast, and then we need suppression fire. Let's try out suppression fire. Okay, it's not that much different from what we were doing anyways, but I'll take it. For a bloomery, we need peat, we need stone, and we need iron that we can just collect natively. So I'm going to get on top of that task and just make it happen. And I'll come back once I actually have those resources available for all this construction that needs to happen, because I am interested in seeing how crafting's going to run here. Hey, I fed this horse a tomato. He's not quite my friend yet, but if you drop it on the ground, he'll actually eat it. Do I have anything else he'll eat? Throw some mushrooms on the ground. You like mushrooms? Okay, horse is not a fan of mushrooms. So we're going to have to come up with other vegetables that we can give this guy if we want him to be our best buddy. He's also running off. Will he take wheat? I think I have wheat. Well, I think I had wheat before I used it to build stuff. There's more over here, though. I don't think wheat counts. So we're going to have to find an apple tree or something to bribe these horses into loving us. Building a relationship is going to take effort. Frankly, I'm sort of curious if we can suss something like that out of the little cave that's by our base. It may be a worthwhile endeavor just to dive in here and see if maybe there's crates or something that have onions and other stuff inside of them. I'm going to light him up. Is he dead? There we go. Rupture that dude, and down he goes. You know, when you're bringing a gun to fights like these, it really sort of sincerely streamlines the process of murder. Seemed to hit pretty hard, too. Yep, I'll take everything off the rat. It's a little dark in here. I definitely think we could use a light source in order to work our way through here. But with a two-handed... a torch or something like that probably wouldn't be... What is this over here? Just iron ore laying around? I can briefly have a torch, but as I surmised, you're not going to be able to keep the torch out while you're fighting. So it may get a little bit dark and dingy in here. On the plus side, there's iron ore everywhere. If we can find a little peaty area too, we should end up with all the stuff that we need in order to build up our base a little bit and get things crack-a-lackin'. It's also a decent supply of mining XP, which I don't really have on my person right now. That rat hasn't seen me, so I'm just going to get him down real quick. I don't think rats are necessarily the hardest targets. They die pretty quickly, and it looks like we're unlocking some kind of magic or something. Yeah, it looks like we're getting something out here when we're killing these guys. We're getting soul shards, I suppose. I don't know what the soul shards do for me. Like, do they click and drag? Like, what do they do? So it looks like these slot in one way or another. They match up with the shapes. Yeah, we can make light spells. So it looks like in this game, you actually build your own spells or something. Interesting. I like that a lot. Customizing my own spells, super cool. Oh, I'm being eaten by a damn near invisible rat right now. There we go. All right, well, give me all your stuff. You too. Everybody that's got stuff that I can have, I would firmly like to have that stuff. Any iron inside of here? That's what I'm the most interested in. Rocks aren't really that difficult to get up on the surface, but... Hey, take out your gun. Thank you. There are threats on the horizon, and we must handle them. Is there going to be a boss or something down here? Is each one of these sort of a self-contained dungeon crawl? There's a rat right there. How hard do I hit him with a torch? Yeah, if I don't have to swap weapons and I can keep myself lit up inside of here, suppose that's kind of helpful. We are getting a decent supply of hides here. I should probably figure out how I cure hides into leather, because I think we can make an armor set right now. Just, what was that? Something looked like he could interact with something over here. Yeah, well, more rats. Let's just stab them up with the power of the flame real quick. What else is down here? There's some kind of like glowing wolf or something. Well, he's dead now. That damage bonus you get for rupture absolutely does work. So I think every time you kill one of the enemies, it's got a glyph on them. They give you those magical crafting materials for making spells. I don't know if we're quite at the point yet where the game's going to let us do anything with spell crafting, but what's this over here? Just more iron? 'Tis indeed further iron. It's so dark, though, that I can't see a damn thing over here. What I was hoping was that I could take the torch. He's got a bunch of utility slots. I was hoping you could just put the torch inside a utility slot and then it would glow, or like a lantern on your belt or something else like that. Get you with a rupture and then get you with the bonus damage. Now we're level 7. Ooh, that's a level 10 wolf. That guy's a little meaner than I'm used to. Get him with a rupture. Hey, it's okay. We dropped him before he got to us. He actually has a different type of meat on him, too. Okay, so we got foxes and wolves down in here. No peat, though, which is what I was hoping for. Also, no crates, no leftover supplies or anything else down in here that I was thinking I could pick through in order to get some goodies. Oh, there was a wolf. He was hiding. Oh, my God, dude. Eat that. Yeah, take it straight to the dome piece. Frankly, I kind of feel like guns should maybe be higher up the tech tree, but I also appreciate the fact that they allow me to play guns straight from the beginning of the game. The moment you get through the tutorial, it's like, what kind of weapon you want? And me being who I am, I was like, gun, bro. Gun? There's wolves out in these woods. There's all kinds of gnarly animals out here. I don't want to fight them with a knife. I don't want to fight them with a stick. I'm not trying to be like David and Goliath out here throwing stones at things. Give me that heater, dude. I need that glizzy. This cave goes so much deeper than I expected, but it's been a magnificent source of just, getting my ass whooped. That's what it's a magnificent source of. Me getting absolutely bodied. That's what I'm learning. That's your poise meter. When that goes up to max, bad things happen, so don't let it go back up to max. You absolutely do not want your poise meter to be maxed out. I do have a level up, and I feel like it'd be a really good idea just to apply that right now, so that I get a little bit stronger. I don't know how class leveling up works, but it looks like with marksman we're a novice right now. I don't see a spot where there's like a meter filling up or anything else letting us know when we level up our marksman skill. But man, tough one to call, because like on one level, very, very buggy and needs a lot more time on the burner for polish and things of that nature, just to make everything feel natural. And like oh no, dude, how tough is a boar? Is a boar bad? Case in point, I just bugged out the game. So my character is simultaneously carrying a torch. I just spam the keys really, really fast for weapon and torch. And look at that. Now I've got a flaming arquebus. Sick, dude. With this guy over here, there's a big-ass boar over here. I have not fought a boar before, and so I'm mildly concerned about my safety. Ow. Yeah, that's kind of what I was concerned about. Oh, my God. He's got a charge. Okay, get a gap. Oh, did he get stuck in the wall? Look at your dumbass all stuck up in the wall bleeding to death. Oh, no. Look at my dumbass not getting any loot because he was stuck in the wall and it despawned. See what I mean? It's a very, very buggy, wonky game, and yet the systems that they do have implemented all seem to have tremendous depth and, like, loads of things and customization you can do with them. What is that? The aspect of wisdom. I have gained 1 intelligence. Okay. I like getting free stats. That sounds spicy. Huh. And now it says aspects collected 1 out of 20. I wonder if those exist for all these other stats too. That would be one of your primary reasons to dive down into dungeons. Ooh, they've got sellable items in here and a ring? Sick, dude. If I wanted to be a holy mage, that ring gives you a bunch of bonus damage to all aspects of holy magic. Alas, I have no holy magic just yet, so not quite as useful as I was hoping it would be. I'm glad that I've got my tactical flash torch on my gun now, though. Does this come out? Oh, it comes out in the same spot. Good. They've got loot backs. Well, I appreciate that. I can't get the fire to go away off my hand right now. Maybe I'll try, like, loading my save. Reloading my save absolutely did go ahead and fix that for me. So at least it was fixable. When I had my weapon gone, it looked like my wiener was being a flamethrower. And I don't know, dude. Being the keeper of the flame schlong is one of those things that I don't think I can live up to the expectation that society's gonna have if I am the holy bearer of the flame schlong. Let's grab that right there, and I don't know what I want to do right now. I gotta track down Pete. I also gotta investigate I've actually gotta investigate the city too while we're out here. Stuff respawned, which is nice though, because I do not have any cotton at the moment, and I need way more cotton for a lot of the crafting things that the game wants me to do. This is also one of those games where I can tell I'm going to completely and totally forget to assign my level ups for all my various crafting trees and everything else. It's just one of those things that's going to slip my mind. There are random events out here in the middle of places, so like there's a destroyed wagon over here. If you can clear out, I shot him right in the ass. If you can clear it out, you can get an infusion of various resources and things like that. I found a couple of random events out in the middle of nowhere with bandits and stuff standing around them, but at the time I was equipped with basically nothing, and being around bandits seemed kind of horrifying and terrifying, so... Dodge to the side. Got that one. No, dude, my stamina gun. You can kind of glitch the game out and fire while you're dodge rolling, which basically makes you unkillable until you run out of stamina. Big old wonk fest in this game. So what do I get? It's already been investigated. Okay, well, I wanted to investigate it further. I did get pears and onions and stuff out of that cart, so I might be able to feed a horse and get us a mount. That way we're not walking around like a goober. Is that a monster right there? I can't tell. It's glowing a little bit. What is it? Oh, it's just a particularly glowy plant. What the hell is this thing? A lesser holy shard. Can I pick up the crystals? Enchantment crystals and spellcrafting tools. Interesting. And there's a basement down beneath it? Okay, I like that. Hey, there is. We got some more agility. And then a custom weapon handle, which can be used as a gift. Am I going to be able to gift stuff to the townsfolk in order to make friends with them to, like, Terraria style or, like, Stardew Valley style? Olives. I love olives, dude. That's one way that I've really bonded with my niece, is that she loves green olives and I love green olives. The entire time I was growing up, my dad had green olive trees, and he would, like, cure them all and make sure that they were no longer poisonous, because a lot of people don't know this, but olives are poisonous if you eat them straight off the tree, or at least the ones we had were, so you had to brine them for a long-ass time. We used to have these trays of Tupperware inside the fridge or out on the counter where you would create a brine mixture, and then you would brine the olives for hella long until they were safe to eat. So I need peat, and I need it real bad. Unfortunately, there's no peat on the map right now, so we may be at the mercy of just our peat gatherer over on this side. It's not as fast as I would like it to be, but it is pulling out. Oh, it's just auto-adding it to my stack. I thought I was going to have to come back every now and again and check on it. That being the case, ooh, it respawned over here too. There's like peat laying on the ground. I'll take some bonus peat. Okay, well, that at least gets me to where I wanted to go and the ability to build a forge, and so I'm happy with that. Let's get this thing just built up over here. We'll start making a craftsman's... I don't like that this isn't leveled. I wish that this was all leveled, but it is not. I suppose I'll put it right there, but did you notice the developer put green arrows on all of this, which is really good. So I can start making ingots. All right, do I just drag and drop them in there? Yeah, there we go. Cook off some ingots. And once we have ingots, what other facilities can I make? So for weaponsmithing and whatnot, it looks like we have to get a little bit further into the game before we can start making this stuff. And there's going to be different buildings for different tiers of equipment. Okay, we've also got the enchanting equipment, but that's going to require me to really start finding magical reagents around. We got apothecaries. I'm wondering if when we pull these ingots out, it's going to give us all the recipes that require an ingot, because the game is making a lot of fanfare right now about new resource discovered. There we go. Let's see what happens when I put a metal ingot in there. So we can open up the guide. Yeah, dude. Okay, so they've got full-on flowcharts out here for the people that really like to plan out their medieval life here in the hinterland. Like, you definitely have things to look forward to as you go through the game, things to shoot for. And that did unlock all the blacksmithing tables. Okay, so we're gonna need to start cutting mud bricks and stone blocks if we wanted to build up this stuff, but then we could make a forge and we could make the weapon crafter over on that side. When it comes to hides, there we go, a leather worker's rack. That was the one thing that kept slipping my mind. Let's get our leather working rack right here. And then I will interact with you, and I have so many hides to load inside of here. So just get started making me leather. It may be a good idea, it may be prudent to have 2 of these, in fact, because I do have a great deal of hides laying around right now, and all of them need to be converted into stuff, and the conversion rate appears to be pretty slow. So it's like every 30 seconds you get 1 out, so I'm guessing the processing time on this is about 5 minutes. Sheepskins over there. I do need to sell off all these decorations and whatnot. Oh, I can place them inside my base too as decorations. That's kind of cool. All right, so you can accumulate your treasures and whatnot and then place them where you want them to be placed. Why does it say that the iron pan gives me damage mitigation? I can use it as a shield? Hold on. Okay, so it looks like I can use a frying pan as a shield should I desire to do so. Fair enough, I'm always lined up for more options inside of a game like this. You're not going to hear me complain. Let's add leather to the stockpile and see what that gives us. Probably tailoring, backpacks, stuff like that. So what buildings are we looking at now? It would probably be a wise idea to start processing off stones into blocks as well. So I may just do that real quick too. That way we've got things working here. I only have 2 stones right now. Okay. Well, they're going to send me back on down to the quarry. It's time for me to bust up some more rocks with a high level of acumen and training and precision. But from where I'm sitting right now, I am intrigued by this title. I know I invoke this a lot, but it's another one of those Piranha Bytes style games where things are janky, wonky. They don't quite work exactly as polished and smooth as you want them to. On top of that, there's bugs all over the place. But the game does seem to have a fair amount of depth and a lot of things to work on. If you're the kind of person that gets into games where you're setting up automation and you're working on producing lots of materials and then using those materials to craft gear to go adventure inside other areas, it seems like the kind of game that would definitely get your goat. It's absolutely, with the level of stuff that you can level up and play around with inside of this game, it's got me interested. The bugginess doesn't particularly bother me that much, going back to, like, I've put 50 hours into Ash and Steel, and that game, as I got further into it, had all kinds of things that were just an absolute mess, and yet I keep playing because there's a level of satisfaction to accomplishing things in that game that's just seriously lacking from other RPGs. Everything's too streamlined for me nowadays. Like, if you go to the mainline BioWare style titles, everything is done for the player. They tell you exactly where the quest is at. They let you fast travel everywhere. There's no inconveniences anywhere inside that title for you to bust your elbows on or get frustrated with, but at the same time, there's also a level of satisfaction. Is that a... Ooh, horsey. I want you to be my friend. Oh, there's enemies on the move. Is he going to attack me? There's a wolf. Oh, no, dude. If you fire a gun near the horse, it gets angry at you. That's super bad. So I'm going to... First and foremost, I need this wolf to go away, and then we'll deal with the horse situation. But while I run for my life, this game right here is called Ars Notoria. I am kind of infatuated with what they're playing around with. You can tell, as a guy that covers games, I can tell when developers are working on something that they're passionate and excited about, and I can tell when they're working on something that is purely being designed for profit and to, like, take advantage of a zeitgeist or a popular genre inside the indie world. This is definitely the former. It is absolutely not the latter. And so I tend to get infatuated with titles like that. I would prefer to have something that's wonky and janky, but it's going out on a limb and it's trying to be something special by comparison to everything else on the market. Like, it's trying to provide a new experience that you can't get anywhere else. I'm willing to ignore the jank and the wonk and the bugs if that stuff eventually gets polished on out and fixed. As far as I understand it, this is a game made by one guy, and so that process is probably going to take a while, but given the fact that very specific storyline implements and whatnot in this game are already pointing to named updates that are coming down the line later on, I think that's a really, really good sign that they've got themselves organized for the rollout of all of this various mechanical polishing and also new content they're going to be putting inside of the game. And so I dig it for right now, but I would not recommend this title for people that like things polished, for people that have a very, very low threshold of tolerance for bugs and just weird things not working. This will not be the game for you from what I've seen for my first hour and a half or so. The combat could definitely be better. They're trying to mix together something like MMO tab target controls in this game because you've got the hotkeys and everything else for special abilities, just like you would have in any other game. However, there is a fair amount of animation polish that needs to go through. The combat feels super clunky when you're fighting in melee. It's definitely got these weird breakpoints in the animation where if you spam buttons and whatnot, you can make the game do all kinds of weird, buggy stuff. This is a game that's very early on in its early access adventure. All of those things are going to be things to be taken into consideration whether or not you have the tolerance for them. If you don't, then I would give this game like 6 months to a year and see where it's at because it may not be the game for you. I don't mind those things, so it is for me. And it does seem to be an interesting hybrid of something like Skyrim and something like Stranded Deep with a little bit of Factorio in there, like a lot of customization, a lot of things that you can do with your skill trees and whatnot. For now, I dig it, man. I'm gonna play. I have so many things. Every time I say this, dude, at the end of a video, I'll be like, yeah, dude, I'd totally play this. And then I add it to my backlog, and I play 25 games a week, and I never get back around to it, and then I feel like I'm an idiot because I'm like, well, obviously, you weren't that excited about it if you didn't go back and play it. But no, dude, I am excited about it. It's just like each one of these games takes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours for me to get through, and by the time I get there, it's been weeks and weeks and weeks, and I've got like another 50 games that are just like up on the stove. Deeply frustrating, man. What I would give for a pill that makes it so that I don't have to sleep and I am just completely and totally energized all the time. I would gain back so much leisure time to actually play this stuff in my free time. I know you guys probably feel that frustration too. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was Ars Notoria. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thank you for hanging out with me, and that's about all I got for you, folks. Take care.